Good evening, you wonderful people. So, long story short, I was paid today, and I want to know what was my hourly wage for the last month. I don't really know why I suddenly just sort of thought of this, but everyone knows, like, I earn really good money as a trainee lawyer in London. Like, we're incredibly lucky people and have the support of an incredible law firm who fortunately pay us very well for what we do. I earn £48,000 a year, may as well get it out there. You can look it up online and find out what all the law firms pay, so nothing secret about that. But yeah, I want to know actually, how does my hourly wage compare to other jobs? So as I head downstairs to go and check out on my work laptop how many hours I actually worked this last month, I want to talk about how I'm going to go about making these calculations. So first off, I'm going to work out how much I actually got paid in the last month. Then I'm going to go and divide that by the number of hours that I worked. And once I've done that, I'm gonna make a couple of adjustments, like having to live in London, because I certainly wouldn't have to live here if I didn't work for a London law firm, and also other adjustments for the cost of living. So if I put you down there, I am going to get my pen and paper and basically use this clever bit of software that we have. I'm not sure, for some reason I feel like I shouldn't show you it, even though it's probably no reason. Basically, we record all of our time, and I'm super disciplined in recording how much time I'm actually spending. Okay, there's probably maybe 5 hours of time a week that I don't record in this, so I'm gonna add on a little bit into what I have in here, but this should give a pretty good indication of the exact number of hours. I've got my pen and my paper. We're gonna write down each week that I've worked the number of hours. I'm definitely gonna need a calculator. I'll be back in just a second. Because I'm good. But I mean, not even I am good enough to cope with these double-digit numbers adding without a calculator. So hey, don't know what I'm on about, but anyway. Right, okay, let's get to it. So in the week so we get paid on the 21st of each month. I was paid today on the 20th of March because it's the weekend. But from the 22nd of February through to the 28th of February, I worked, according to this, a total of 33 hours and 34 minutes. So I'm gonna add on 5 hours for that week. It's worth bearing in mind that here, because this was a week of training, that is way less than I would normally work in a week, as we're about to find out, I believe. Then we come through to the week from March the 1st, and we get my first Sunday of work of the month, which has been pretty exceptional. If you watched my day in the life of a corporate lawyer video, I don't normally work weekends, but I have worked Sunday and then a Saturday and a Sunday in the last 2 weeks. But from the 1st of March through to the 7th of March, I worked 50 hours and 27 minutes. Again, I'm gonna add 5 hours as an estimate of that time. In the next week, so last week, from the 8th of March to the 14th of March, I worked 53 hours and 1 minute, again adding 5 hours. And this week so far, fingers crossed for no weekend work, but I was paid today, so I'm not gonna count it anyway. Although technically I think it should count. Fingers crossed, no work this weekend. We're just gonna pray. I have worked 41 hours and 55 minutes. Again, adding that extra 5 hours. That brings us, Monsieur le Calculateur, to... Okay, so I think I've done the maths. That gives us 198 hours and 57 minutes work. And my salary, as I said, is £48,000 a year, which monthly means I get exactly £4,000. Gives us a grand total of £20 and 10 pence an hour, which is actually higher than I thought it would be. I think you'll hear about like bankers and stuff, you know, you can see quite easily how if you add that up to like 80 hours a week, 70, 80 hours a week, you're probably on like £14 an hour. And that suddenly isn't looking like such a great salary when you have literally no life whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, £20 and 10 pence an hour is pretty amazing money. The only other thing to kind of take into account when you're seeing that number is that obviously the more money you earn, the more tax you pay. So here is the magic number. My post-tax pay actually comes out at £2,816 and 24 pence. That's after student loans and national insurance and income tax, which actually, if we then use that number and we divide that by 199, we then get an hourly wage of £14 and 15 pence post-tax. Again, that's still pretty amazing. amazing. And the final thing that I kind of wanted to take into account was cost of living. So I'm gonna say Beth and I currently here pay around £1,800 a month rent for our lovely Greenwich house, and we love it here, so can't complain. But we looked up and we reckon that if we were to have a very similar property, 2-bed in our hometown of Tunbridge Wells, then that would probably cost us around £1,000. So that would be a saving between us of around £800 a month, which would be £400 each. So if we take that off my salary, assuming that I would have that extra money if I weren't paying London rent, which I wouldn't have to necessarily if I had a different job, then that brings us down to a monthly salary of £2,400 approximately. Then the next addition or next subtraction that I want to make is being in London and the extra cost of living. If you go out to a pub here, if you go out to a bar, it probably costs you about 100% more than it would if we were living in our home kind of town. Like a meal here is probably about twice as expensive. So I'm gonna say that we spend an average on kind of those sorts of things like going out, eating, drinking, etc. of around £200 a month. So that means we would be saving, probably we would be spending about £100 a month if we were at home. So that is another £100 a month, taking my salary kind of net of the extra rent and this £100 down to £2,300 a month. Then if we take this £2,300 a month and we divide that by 199, we're now looking at a post-tax, post-expenses salary of £11.55, which most people would probably say like, wow, that's pretty shocking that you kind of managed to whittle what sounds like a huge amount of money down to what is actually not that great a salary. The reality is, obviously everyone has to pay tax. The more money you earn, the more tax you pay. So me taking that off is kind of artificial. The other thing to bear in mind is that obviously we, getting to enjoy living in this beautiful house, in this amazing place in London, in a really cool city, a really cool part of that city. Obviously, I also completely ignored like the future potential earnings. If this were a business, like businesses are valued based on, yes, how much they're earning now, but like most businesses, Deliveroo, Uber, etc. are losing money right now, but it's based on the fact they're going to make loads of money in the future. And obviously your future potential earnings as a lawyer are much greater than they would be in most other careers. So this has been a completely artificial exercise. It was really just to kind of explore like how much money is this huge amount, what feels to me like a huge amount of money anyway, that I get paid every month. And it's like, wow, this is a crazy amount of money. But when you whittle it down, all these expenses, maybe it's not as much as it seems. I think I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I think the number, certainly pre-tax, for like £20 an hour pre-tax is actually way healthier than I thought it might have been. And I think it is mainly because actually in this job, yes, we work really hard and we do work relatively long hours, as you've kind of seen from my stats, but we don't work insane hours. We don't, certainly as a trainee, have like no life outside of work, and that means that your hourly wage is relatively better than it otherwise would be. And one of the ways I spend my monthly salary is investing in my knowledge and personal growth. And that's where today's sponsor, Brilliant, comes in. Brilliant tells these kind of interactive stories that reduce what seems like a really complex idea. We're talking multivariable calculus neural networks and all that kind of clever stuff powering the future of the world into something you can truly understand. Brilliant says that it guides you to explore the laws that shape our world, and that has been my genuine experience of it so far. The Python course has improved my understanding of the programming language better than any app or course I've ever used. It allows you to develop this deep understanding with relative ease because everything is just so approachable and bite-sized and really strangely addictive, which feels like a really weird thing to say about an education app, but it really is. The courses focus on developing a sharpness in the way you think through interactive quizzes and challenges, and if you struggle at all with maths or science, for example, I have no doubt that the way it breaks things down will increase your confidence and knowledge pretty flipping quickly. The first 200 people to sign up to Brilliant using my link at the top of the description will get 20% off their annual subscription, so do go and check Brilliant out. So yeah, I hope you found this semi-interesting. I found it interesting, but then I guess it's my salary, so it's a bit more interesting for me than it may have been for you. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. It's been an absolute delight. Maybe give my day in the life of a corporate lawyer, which is somewhat more structured than this, just a little bit more structured, a go. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Please do subscribe, please do like, please do comment, let me know what you thought of this kind of more casual, just like vloggy style, me just basically just ranting at you through the camera. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Thanks for watching.